Saba and Hadi had always dreamed of traveling to the stars. Their childhood was filled with late-night conversations under the starlit sky, imagining what lay beyond Earth. Together they had studied space, researched the mysteries of the universe, and built rockets out of cardboard boxes. But nothing could prepare them for the moment when their childhood fantasy became a terrifying reality. Years later, in their late 20s, Saba and Hadi found themselves standing in the launch facility of the International Space Exploration Agency (SEA). They had earned their spots as part of the first crew to explore the newly discovered Whale Nebula, a cosmic anomaly that had intrigued scientists for decades. Hadi was the ship's chief engineer responsible for keeping the spacecraft Pioneer in working condition. Saba was the mission's astrobiologist tasked with studying any potential life forms in the nebula. Together, they were the perfect team. Saba's analytical mind and Hadi's engineering genius complemented each other perfectly. As the countdown began, both of them exchanged a glance filled with excitement and apprehension. "Ready?" Saba asked, her voice steady though her heart was racing. Hadi grinned, "As ready as I'll ever be." 3, 2, 1. The countdown echoed in their heads. The engines roared to life and Pioneer shot into the sky. The roar of the launch faded as the ship broke through Earth's atmosphere, and soon they were drifting in the quiet vastness of space. The journey was breathtaking at first. The Pioneer glided effortlessly through the cosmos, the stars a never-ending sea of shimmering points of light. The vastness of space felt both awe-inspiring and humbling. Saba spent her days in the lab studying data from distant exoplanets, while Hadi worked tirelessly in the engine room, ensuring everything was running smoothly. They communicated regularly over the comm system, sharing discoveries and occasionally trading jokes. But as they neared the Whale Nebula, things began to go wrong. One night, while Saba was asleep, Hadi noticed a strange fluctuation in the ship's navigation system. At first, it seemed like a minor glitch, but when the ship's course began to drift off track, Hadi's instincts told him it was something more. "Something's not right," Hadi muttered, staring at the control panel. He adjusted the navigation controls, but they weren't responding as they should. He tried to reach Saba, but the comms were down. The silence in the ship was unnerving. Minutes later, the entire ship shook violently and a loud alarm blared. Hadi grabbed the nearest railing to steady himself as the Pioneer was tossed through space. He frantically tried to regain control, but the ship seemed to be pulled by an invisible force. Come on, Hadi cursed under his breath, tapping the control panel in frustration. Suddenly, the turbulence stopped as quickly as it had started. The ship was now drifting, no longer in control of its course. Hadi finally reached Saba, who had come rushing to the cockpit, her face pale. "What happened?" she asked, her voice trembling. "I don't know. It's like something just took control of the ship. We're off course." Hadi looked out the window at the nebula ahead. Its swirling gas is now a strange, glowing mass. Saba's eyes widened. "That's the Whale Nebula. But it's too close. We weren't supposed to be this near it." Before Hadi could respond, the ship's lights flickered and the entire control panel shut down. They were left in complete darkness, surrounded by the silence of space. Time lost meaning as Saba and Hadi worked together to assess the damage. The ship had suffered a serious electrical failure and they had no control over their direction. Their navigation system was down and their engines had ceased to function. "We've been pulled in," Saba whispered, staring at the view screen. "Pulled in where?" Hadi asked, his voice tight. Saba's eyes were glued to the nebula, its ethereal colors now swirling in a way that felt wrong, as though they were caught in the gravitational pull of something far more powerful than a simple nebula. "That's not a nebula," Saba said, her voice faltering. "It's a black hole. We've been sucked into its gravitational field." Hadi's heart skipped a beat. "What? How do you know?" "The way the stars are bending," she said, pointing at the screen. "It's a gravitational lens. We're in the event horizon. We can't escape." Panic set in as the reality of their situation sank in. The black hole's pull was growing stronger and they were no longer in control of their fate. Every system was failing and there was no escape. "How long do we have?" Hadi asked, trying to keep his voice steady. Saba bit her lip. "I don't know. We've been in the event horizon for maybe an hour. We might have a few hours left before." The ship shuddered violently again and the lights flickered out once more. The only sounds left were their breathing and the low hum of the emergency backup systems. Days passed and Saba and Hadi were no longer sure of how much time had gone by. The Pioneer drifted deeper into the black hole's pull. The stars outside became more distorted, their shapes and colors bending in unnatural ways. Saba and Hadi spent their days trying to fix the ship, but with every passing hour, their hope faded. The fuel was running low, the food supplies dwindling, and the air was beginning to feel thinner. One evening, if it could still be called evening, Saba and Hadi sat in the observation deck, gazing out at the cosmic void. The once beautiful stars were now twisted, swallowed by the blackness. "I can't believe this is how it ends," Hadi murmured, his voice hollow. Saba turned to him, her eyes filled with quiet sadness. "We're not giving up yet." But even she knew the truth. They were lost. Completely and utterly lost in the depths of space. They had passed the point of no return. "We had so many dreams," Hadi, Saba said softly, her voice distant. "We wanted to find life out there, to make discoveries, to push the boundaries of what we knew." Hadi placed a hand on her shoulder. "We did, Saba. We found something bigger than we ever expected." He looked out at the stars one last time, his eyes reflecting the vast, unknown universe. "Maybe the universe wasn't ready for us yet." Saba nodded, her hand brushing his. In that moment, they both knew knew they had done something no one else had ever done. They had ventured to the very edge of the cosmos together and discovered that sometimes the greatest mystery of all was the one you couldn't solve. They sat in silence as the pioneer drifted, lost in the stars forever.